Hey guys, and in today's video I'm gonna show you how to hot swapping a whole sounds in VCV Rack without needed for recabling it or repatching the trigger input or so on. But before we're going to dive into that, I'm going to show you some fresh magic from Stoermelder. Just check this out. Yeah, it's folding and it's available now as a beta version, and I will link the link in the description so you can download that and using it in your own project. It saves a GPU and also space in VCV Rack. There is some bugs, but I will sure that the developer will solve it. Okay, so what about a strip hot swapping? Just check this out. Here's a kick drum, new kick drum without reconnecting trigger input and output. Let's continue with the percussion. So we go to percussion folder and swap it. Yeah, here is a new percussion, and let's try the hi-hat one as well. Nice, so I already set it up and you can try it on my Patreon in your own purpose. What is the mechanic of that? In order to use that, you need to also download a new version of Strip from Stoermelder GitHub. So we need to take a teleport module first, input and output. The trick about the outputs, you can use same address name in output module, but you can use the same name in input module. So that's why I made the own slug for the each strips in there. So when you load the strip, the output of teleport will immediately get the connection with the output one. So you need basically two instances of both modules. Let's say it test, and let's choose test right here. So they are already connected. So when you put some input right here, we'll get a signal. Let's check it on the scope now. Right, we'll get a signal and there is no cabling connection between all of those modules, just virtual passing through. But what's the point of this video is you can use the different version of this palette sound with changing a whole sound. Especially it's useful when not just changing preset over one module that you can do right here, but change the whole strip with huge internal connection like LFO or so. So in order to save that, you need to go to the strip and press save as. After that, you will get a folder which is in plugins V1, Stoermelder P1, presets and strip. And you can create folders inside it. Let's call it test. And let's call it test1 as a strip file, so you can see it right here. Very nice. And let's add a variation, just like using a random module. Of course, the huge thing about teleport module, it can hold polyphonic inputs. So let's save it as a test2 file, and let's again make some random, save as, and then we can make test3 file. So when you need to switch to the backward, to the first one, just go to the presets. The huge thing about this connection inside here, you need to check this box load and replace, because without it, strip just adding a new connection and it's new even modules, and you don't need that. So go to the preset, test, make sure the load and replace are ticking in, and yeah, we've got a hot swap with extremely fast. And by the way, you can add for the new version a new modulator. Let's add another LFO, and this is a pretty nice thing. Let's save it as a test4. Right, and let's switch to the test first. No LFO anymore, and this is huge. You can use it for live performances or saving your ideas, collecting the strips, and making sure everything won't lost or something, just experimenting on your flow. So in order to use it as the whole patch, I highly recommend to save a presets according your usual sounds, like kick, hat, percussion, sequence 1, sequence 2, or pad, like in me. And the thing I forget to say is saving input for incoming trigger signals on 1 volt per octave. So let's add another teleport in here, and let's call it, for example, clock. And for example, let's duplicate it and let's save node. Okay, we just connected it, and we need to duplicate it twice and the output one, and choose accordingly a clock and node here. So let's deselect the cable to see on the scope. Let's add, for example, permutation and some clock. Just used clocked. Okay, let's connect clock to the permutation, and let's adjust it a bit. Node right here, and let's pass clock to the here. And no, we need no need to add input right here, because we're doing vice versa. We're connecting output to the palette. All right, and let's connect 1 volt per octave to the palette and the clock here. It's playing, as you can see, an octave, and we will see the triggers right here. And let's just save as, and let's call it test node 1, and let's change something, press random and test node 2. Alright, it's a one type of signal, and let's switch to the test node 1, really another. And you won't get a hugely clicks when you're selecting test, just bit and down in the signal This is a normal thing in case of using a live performance. Just turn the fader on, off, and make some virtual connections. Let's switch to the test 1, and we will not see any inputs inside the palette. Yeah, it's different patchlet here. So let's dive into my own music right here. So as I said before, you can use a multiple address name for output, or for the palette it would be inputs. And I use triggers right here, and inside the sequence I even use in 1 volt per octave. So yeah, that's the way you can change everything on the fly. Don't remember if I say it for pad. Let's switch it. So here is the pad 1. And let's switch to the pad 2. Different signal, and not some kind of annoying peak while switching it, but it's a huge time saver. So just try it and tell me in the comments if you like the idea. I'm sure that many of users find his own way to do that type of connection, because it replicates some normal DAW behavior. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you like this video. You can get all of those strips, patch files on my Patreon and support me a bit, and I will link the links in the description on Stoermelder updated modules. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next time.